Hey, this is my bud Mark. Mark is one of the Jonas Brothers. Yeah, he's kind of weird.
Welcome to the Madhouse, the Mark Moses Show, on Sports Radio 1400 WKAV.
Good morning. 7:09 here on a Monday morning. October is over. Let's get ready for some November. November 1st, 2010. Halloween yesterday. Hope everyone enjoyed their Halloween. Hope you had a great costume for the weekend. Our little kids were running around last night. Hope they had a great time. But now it's time to get in November. It's a little cold this morning, but I'm here. My name's Mark. Hope you enjoyed your weekend. I'll be here for the next 2 hours breaking out some football, some baseball. What happened to me this weekend? Oh, there's much to discuss. Much to discuss. Rex Grossman 2 minutes ago. Yeah, that was smart. Where do we begin? Where do we begin? That's the real question here on the morning show. And you're on Sports Radio 1400 WKV. Phone lines are always open, 434-817-7627. You can also email the show at sportsradio1400@wkv.com. We're also on Twitter and Facebook. Good morning. Well, first off, on Saturday at Scott Stadium, something happened that no one... What? UVA wins the game against Miami, 22nd ranked Miami at the time, 24-19. Cavaliers were up 14-0 in halftime, 17-0 after the third, then give up 19 straight points to Miami, but they hold on to win 24-19. I don't care what anyone says. Did Miami stay up all night? Were they at some party at the corner? Is that what happened to them? Because they did not wake up until the fourth quarter. Was the noon kickoff too early for them? Everyone said all week, Virginia, their fans, noon's too early. Well, it appears people in Miami cannot play noon football. And then people were like, oh, well, Ja'Cory Harris got injured. Ja'Cory Harris was doing jack you-know-what for when he was in the game. It wouldn't have made a difference. Virginia was going to win that game. And they did. And, what's funny was pregame, Jerry Miller was live from McGrady's Irish Pub. And, he wanted me to do an interview with him for 5 minutes. So I said, okay, I'll come on. And he said, what were the keys to the game? And I told him, honestly, survive the first quarter, which they did 0-0. And I said, there's a ball game. That was a ball game. Then I said, establish the run. What does Virginia do? Comes out and establishes the run. Where was this team against UNC? Against Florida State? I don't know. And it's the weirdest stat. I don't even, forget, he threw for this, he ran for that. They had 4 interceptions, we'll have 3 quarterbacks. Virginia is 4-4. I don't think anybody, after Eastern Michigan, you went to 3-4. Everyone's like, well, they'll lose to Miami by 100 points. Who cares? Now this team is 4-4. And here's what's crazy. They should beat Duke. I know they've lost 2 in a row to Duke. We're talking about Cavaliers football here on the morning show. But they should beat Duke. Then you go 5-4, and then in 2 weeks, you're going to have Maryland for the last home game. Now, Maryland, I have no idea, because they put up like 60 points on Wake Forest. What? Everyone at the beginning of the year, free agent coach Maryland, he'll probably get fired. Now his team's on Halloween night putting up like 59, 60 points on Wake Forest. Huh? Can someone explain to me this ACC season this year? Can anyone? NC State's beating Florida State late in the season. Miami shows up drunk to Scott Stadium. Virginia capitalized, they win. By the way, great game plan by Bill Lazor. I know he gets criticized a lot, and especially, he's sticking with Verica. Great game plan. He said, look, we're going to establish a run. We're not going to throw the ball over 7 yards the whole game. And give credit to the offensive line as well. You talk about game balls. 5 interceptions for the Virginia defense, but offensive line shutting down that Miami front four. Great job. That's what it takes. When it comes down to it, there's 500 guys who can run tracks, score touchdowns, pick off the ball. There's always like 10 guys, I'm the superstar quarterback. Get me an offensive line That's how you win games. Establish, what do they say? What do we got to do? Run the ball, stop the run. 24-19 Virginia with the win. They're 4-4. First win for Mike London in ACC play. Congratulations. You know, he was a little he was a little emotional after the game. I got some audio. You know, they asked him this last night. He said, look, crying? Like, we should have Tom Hanks crying in football? Here's London after the game.
I was just overcome with emotion. I mean, it was just kind of like all the things these guys work for, all the naysayers. And, you know, and some will probably say, well, because Ja'Cory was knocked out. Well, you know what? Joe Torsia wasn't playing. You know, Ross I didn't play. Tim Smith has been missing for a while. Everybody plays the players that are missing. It's just at that point, knowing everything that just occurred during the week, that's an emotional feeling that you know, thank you, Lord, that they didn't have a chance to score again, or that Chris got that third down, and we're looking on the chart. All right, now how many more times you got to go take a knee before the clock? And I'm like, make sure the chart is right. Check the chart. And so after Chris got converted that third down, they used all their timeouts. Just like, Coach, that's it. All we got to do is take 2 knees.
Sports Radio 1400 WKV. That is Mike London. You know, he's talking about the play late in the game. Miami needed to stop. They had momentum. Verica, you know, stepped up in the pocket, hit Chris Bird for a big first down, ran out the clock. They win. UVA wins 24-19. And here's the other thing. And this goes along with what happened to the Redskins on Sunday. And everyone's like, oh, they benched McNabb. We'll get to that as well. I'm going to talk about it at 7:35 this morning. We're going to break down Redskins. So I'm going to talk UVA right now. This one I understand. Stop being cute. Just take the extra point. Now let's go for 2. There's so much confusion. Just take the extra point. That's why it's there. Stop being cute. Stop going for 2 points. I'm talking about the Redskins and Miami. Then they miss an extra point. The referee thought it was good. Then they had to go over it. No, it's not good. Oh, man. It was a wild game. And their third stringer, I got to look up these stats here. All right. Miami's third stringer, Stephen Morris, 9 for 22, picked off twice, but threw 2 touchdowns, 162 yards. Brought him back in the game. You know, I talked to my dad last night. I said, look, they brought in a third stringer, and he almost beat Virginia. And he said, look, Mark, the reason was this Morris kid has no pressure. He barely knows the offense. Coaching staff's not after him. Alumni's not after him. Fans, sports talk. No one even knows who he is. He comes into the game, and he just plays football. Okay, snap, throw, touchdown. That was what's weird about it. He just showed up. There's no pressure, whatever. Shows up, plays football, almost wins the game. And you know, if this Stephen Morris kid would have beaten Virginia, you talking about starting a legend of his own. That would have been it for Ja'Cory Harris. And on Inbounds today with Mac McDonald, 3 p.m., I got this guy from Miami who writes for, like, theu.com. I know, they're so cool. And he writes, and I asked him, I said, look, what happened here? Why did Miami lose the game? He said, look, because Randy Shannon and that coaching staff are a bunch of idiots. I said, well, there's your answer. Very overrated. Very overrated coaching staff. Ja'Cory Harris is overrated. That whole team is overrated. UVA showed up, and it's kind of funny. That's the game they win. No, that was a Halloween. So if you're Miami, don't come back to Charlottesville on Halloween. Now, Chase Benefield, he played great, 2 picks. Corey Mosley, 2 picks. Defense got 5 in general. For about 3.5 quarters, they look good. Last, half of the fourth quarter did not look good. But here's them on the interceptions.
It was a good day in the secondary, and we showed that we have some playmakers back in the back end, and we've always been thinking of a day about this. We've been together for a long time, and it's a good day to have to celebrate with my friends.
We just went out there with a chip on our shoulder. Coach talked about a lot of people don't respect us, and we were going to get respected. We had to take it, and that's kind of what our mindset was going to this game.
And also, we're talking offensive line. That's the secondary. Secondary, as a DB, what will always help you out is if your front 4 gets pressure on the quarterback. And when they hit Harris, and he left the game with a concussion, that sent a message to Miami. We're coming after you. And if you're a DB, it's easy for the pickings or whatever the comment would be. It's time to start picking some ball off. Nice. Virginia gets the win. Congratulations. They needed it. And you talk about momentum for next season. Even if they don't get to a bowl game, signature win for the program going into next season. Because if you come to Virginia, you can win games in the ACC. That was the number one goal for winning this game. Then get your second one next week against Duke. Now, the Redskins nonsense, that's a 5-hour talk show. I don't even have that much time on the air. Coming up, we're going to have a good show. Mark Davis, 805, bringing on UVA. But coming up in about 4 minutes, the great Sonny Randall. Don't worry, he'll make fun of the Redskins and talk UVA. And you're on Sports Radio 1400 WKV.